Hello guys and welcome to another lesson of the CoffeeScript Foundations course of Rails Karate. As always, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I'm at VERSIÓN. Follow us at Rails Karate. Follow us on Facebook too. I always keep an eye on railskarate.com, where you will find the transcript of this video and all the transcripts of our lessons and quizzes and a lot of things. So make sure you check it out. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So let's start. As always, to make sure you're running the coffee command for compile from CoffeeScript to JavaScript. Make sure it is running in order to our exercises work. Let's start. So first of all, let's solve the coffee challenge. So in the previous lesson we talked about a coffee challenge. If you could solve the coffee challenge, you should. If you solved the coffee challenge, make sure you use the coffee challenge hashtag in Twitter. So drop us a line with the hashtag coffee challenge. So we told you that create another function for the guessing part. That was the coffee challenge. So let's do it. I'm gonna do it right now. First, I'm going to create a new function here. This function will receive two parameters. The first will be the guess number and the generator number. The generator number. So I create the function here, and I'm going to copy this condition. And if this is true, so we return true. Else, if we do not enter to the if, we just return false. Okay. Let's remove this part over here. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to ask, first of all, if the number the user inputs is number. Indeed. So I can copy this from here. I'm gonna copy this. That's it. So if this is not none, if this is a number, so what we're gonna do next is ask if we're going to call the function. We're going to give the number the user inputs and the generator number. So if this is true, then we show a message to the user that he guessed. Okay. Else, so let's make an else and tell him he failed. Well, I can delete these. Okay, don't delete this one. Okay, else we show this. Okay, so we show the fail message and we show the generated number. So there is another else at the end in case the user entered a character or a letter. So this message is going to be printed here. So as you can see, first let's test it out. Okay, I'm testing the functionality 1 6 and 25. Oh, we guessed. Let's see again if everything is okay. 4 and 10. I'm going to enter 5 and you fail. So as you can see, this is working as expected. Make sure this is working. Let's see the generated JavaScript. This is indeed working, yes. So let's make a last try. Okay, this is working. So you can see we just added a new function for notify for that returns a boolean value if the user guessed. So we return a true, else we return a false. We also have precondition here for check the number is indeed a number. That's it. Again, if you made this coffee challenge, don't forget to drop us a line with the hashtag coffee challenge. Let's continue. For this I'm gonna use this. A new file, open an empty coffee file. So let's start. So what's variable scope? Imagine you have a function called x, and then you have a variable called x, then you create a function and you declare a new variable also called x. So how does CoffeeScript and JavaScript handle the scope of the variables? When we use libraries like jQuery or Dojo, these libraries have a lot of variables, so we can maybe use global variables of the libraries, but don't worry about that. You just need to know that we need to handle variable scopes in both in JavaScript and in CoffeeScript. So first we need to understand how JavaScript variable scope works. First, for JavaScript, I'm going to open this file JavaScript. Okay, let's delete this. And in JavaScript we have a global universe that can be, for example, this one. This is the scope. So if we create a var here called hello, this var is globally and can be accessed within any function. In the case of our random number generator, you can see here we have two functions. As you can see, these are the two functions we created, and we declared some variables using parameters. So we have two different universes. This is the first universe, this is the second universe, and there is also a global universe that is all the program itself. That's it. Each function has its own variables, and variables you create within functions that do not interact with any other universe or function. So open the JS file. I'm going to add a small example here using JavaScript syntax. So we have here the hello world. Now let's call this function. Before, let's say I want to create another variable called also greeting, and I say hello again. Okay, so as you can see, I created two variables with the same name. One is within the function and another one is in the global scope. What happened if I call then the hello world function? So let's see what happens when we use an alert and try to print the greeting variable after we call the function. And again, hello world and hello again. So we first make an alert and we print this message, then we call an alert outside of the function using the same variable, and we saw this message. Actually, for JavaScript there are two different variables. Both live in different universes. One lives within the function universe and the other one lives within the global universe. But why do we call global universe? That's because any variable that is not declared within a function becomes global. And in other words, you can modify or access values or access variables, global variables within a function. That's why we call it global scope. Although it is a terrible idea to try to modify global variables or to override global variables within a function, let's see how it works. We just need to remove just this little var keyword here, and you will see that hello world was printed first and then hello world is printed again. That's because we are accessing the greeting variable that is global. So if we remove the var keyword in JavaScript, we are telling JavaScript that we want to access the global variable. This is a really headache when we try to do this, because we sometimes forget to add the var keyword when we program in JavaScript, and especially when we work with libraries like jQuery. So as you can see, first greeting has the value hello again, then we call the function, and we are modifying this global variable because we have it without the var keyword, and we modify it to hello world, so we see a hello world message, and as we modify the global variable, we see hello world again message here. So let me show you how it works in CoffeeScript. So let's go to CoffeeScript. So I pasted here, so I opened functions.coffee. This is the file, the coffee file that generates this JavaScript. So I have here the same we had before with the JavaScript, but this time reading in CoffeeScript. So as you can see here, we have the green hello world, then we print it, blah blah blah, and let's see what happened when we run it. So we should first see hello world and then hello again. That's it. Because in CoffeeScript we do not have the concept of global. I mean, all the variables have a local scope. So this, as you can see, we don't need to use the var keyword here, and as you can see, the editor highlights as wrong keyword. So we don't not need to use it, because for CoffeeScript all the variables are local. So we create a greeting variable within this function, and it will only live within this function. So it's not possible to overwrite this variable that is outside of the function within this function. That's not possible. And this will save us a lot of problems. Believe me, that will be really helpful, because for mistake we can overwrite in JavaScript. For mistake we can overwrite a global variable of a library, and that can become a really big issue. Really big issue to debug. However, sometimes it is useful to use global variables and access global variables within functions in CoffeeScript. So CoffeeScript has some solutions to this without have the risk to commit mistakes like what I already told you. So I will talk about that later, because we need some more advanced concepts for understand that. Well, if you haven't already, go to the blog post of the video with all the transcript of this lesson, and there is a coffee quiz. This is the last lesson of this stage about functions in CoffeeScript, so we have a coffee quiz. So take the coffee quiz, and if you solve it, and if you pass the review of the coffee quiz, you can drop us a line on Twitter using the hashtag coffee quiz. That would be really great. So we wait for you. Use the coffee quiz hashtag, and see you next lesson. By the way, in the next lesson we'll start talking about loops, arrays, objects, and other important things we need to know for master CoffeeScript. See you next stage. Bye bye.